All right, welcome to Coffee and Candor, episode something. So,
4.
4, yes. So we're going to talk about the Michael Jackson documentary, which I personally am conflicted about. Before we start, we need to tell everybody, if you are going to watch this, you better pack a lunch. This damn thing was like 85 hours long.
It was 4 hours.
It was like 4 business days long.
4 hours.
I had to take a break in the first one because of the details.
It was uncomfortable.
Wow. I haven't seen it yet, so.
Well, you're gonna. So,
whether you want to or not. Yeah. I didn't want to either.
You're gonna.
So.
And we're gonna watch Surviving R. Kelly, so. Yay!
But I hate the idea of saying that a victim is lying. However, they testified twice for him, like in his defense, one time as adults. You know, I mean, how do you...
I think that's... I don't see how anybody could watch that and think they're lying. The pain was very
right, and watching it, yeah, they looked like they were telling the truth.
But people thought they were telling the truth the other 2 times as well.
Exactly. I mean, they were convincing enough to persuade a jury.
And they've never found any evidence that I've heard of when they went through Neverland and his room and all that.
Because here's the thing, like they were talking about, Michael Jackson was showing them various explicit videos and all of this. They never found anything like that.
They really never found any videos, never.
Yeah, nothing like that. You know, was he weird? Oh, yes, he was.
Yeah, and I mean, from a just a normal person point of view, you know, I like Michael Jackson's music. There's a lot of it I really like, but he was odd, very odd. Matter of fact, that whole family is odd.
Oh, definitely.
And so I never really got just invested in him as a person. So I mean, I've been kind of like, you know.
Yeah, well, you know, my thing is, him as a person, dude was weird. He's weird as hell. I don't think anybody, you know, you can't have giraffes and shit on your property. And
Whoa.
people, yeah. And
if you were going to call people who want giraffes...
No, not one. I want a lot of things. He had them.
Because I can't get behind that.
You know what I'm saying, though. I mean, weird doesn't quite...
Yeah, no, it goes beyond weird, yeah.
But at the same time, if he would have done even a fraction of the stuff that they said, there would have been some evidence. Yeah. You know, I mean, they were out to hang him.
But you're talking about, you know, in many cases, a decade after the fact. I mean,
and the other thing is, you know, Michael Jackson was very, very rich. I'm sure he had people to take care of things for him too. Now, whether they can keep their silence or not, that's another story. But
man, I don't know.
You know, I felt exactly the way you did until I watched the video. Like, I mean, when we sat here a week ago and we talking about this, I was like, you know, it just seems like after the fact, it seems hinky. But I don't, from my understanding, they're not trying to get any money.
Oh, no, that one guy did.
That one guy.
Wade
Robson, he's the one that doesn't need the money.
I know, but he tried to sue the Michael Jackson estate after Michael was dead for some odd millions of dollars, and the judge was like, no, you testified in court twice. Right. So either you perjured yourself or this is a baseless accusation.
Right. And I mean...
What really pisses me off is that they're pulling episodes of where he had voiceovers, they're pulling down his statue, and all that I could understand if he went to trial and was found guilty and all this. He went to trial. He wasn't found guilty. This is years and years later that 2 guys are coming and say, oh, well, we didn't tell the truth then. This is the truth now. And everyone's pulling their stuff. And he's not here to defend himself.
That sort of thing has become almost an epidemic lately.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
You know, the Chris Hardwick that hosts the Talking Dead has an ex that just popped up all of a sudden and started accusing him of abuse and rape and everything else. And they stopped his show for a little bit.
Stopped his convention
appearances and everything else. And it's like, where's the proof? And he calmly and rationally just sat there and said, presented anything he had to defend himself, and they looked at it and went, okay.
Well, and that's what I was telling.
But it's like a knee jerk thing.
Yeah, it is, and nobody wants to wait for the facts to come out, and that's what I was telling her. You can't make a claim like that with zero evidence.
Yeah.
And
you can.
You can, but with zero evidence, and what is it? It's two guys, that are saying their stories. I mean, come on. At some point, and that's why we have in our Constitution, there's a burden of proof that's required. You don't get convicted on, what amounts to hearsay.
Okay, so he didn't get any money, but he's still gone forward with this. So what is his motive?
He tried.
Oh, okay, but he didn't get it, and then he went forward, and he's still making these claims, and he's been barred from. I mean, he can't just keep bringing a legal issue once it's been found to have no merit. So he can't. Right. He can't go forward with that. So
but now what if during this case though?
What case? There is no case.
I think
this instance, something happens to be proven. Can he then come back later and?
I'm not a lawyer. I mean, it would depend on the ruling and.
No, I think.
There's always a window if you've got a good enough lawyer.
No, what I'm saying is if you bring a case, it's just the same as if you bring charges. If someone brought a charge against me and I was found not guilty, you can't bring that charge against me again.
If it was a murder, and they said, okay,
double jeopardy.
You're innocent.
Okay, but
hold on. But then later, video evidence shows up of you killing this person.
Because I've already been tried for that crime. And I was found not guilty.
But even with new evidence?
Yeah.
That's double jeopardy.
Yeah.
He's right in that case. But he's wrong in his overall supposition because there is such a thing as with and without prejudice. When I sat on the bench with my job, I dealt with that. And the difference is it's very different for murder because of the way that the legal system is set up. Mm-hmm. If new evidence on another charge is, let's say instead of murder, your example was sexual assault or battery or something like that. In that case, yes, because
you can be retried for the same crime.
Absolutely, because new evidence.
Well, and
then why would it be different from murder? I would think that would be kind of
if you've
important.
been acquitted of a murder,
right?
It's double jeopardy. But okay,
now if their new evidence comes forward, they could charge you with a different
like first degree,
statute,
second degree,
or manslaughter or something like that.
Right.
They can find a legal loophole to charge you again in a different way.
Right.
Then they can. But that's the reason the with prejudice, without prejudice ruling on a case exists. Because if it is done with prejudice, that means you cannot bring it forward again. So where
I don't understand where.
When a ruling is issued in the legal language,
right.
In that ruling, it might say, and of course now what I was doing was not like it was a commission, not a court, but we had
Still
to follow
the law, though.
Right, and but it would be in the language, like if it was something that they thought had no legal merit at all, like completely baseless, like your whole argument was just
ridiculous.
Right. They would say with prejudice, so that basically this fruitless...
What with prejudice? The decision...
This decision has been rendered, and these people have been found, not responsible, and this is with prejudice. That way, so you can't continue to bring a fruitless argument back and back and back,
Yeah.
because there are people that would just... and basically to wear it down until finally somebody goes, give them something,
Right.
you know. And so, but if it's like you can't prove your facts, but you didn't prove it baseless, they can say without prejudice, and that leaves a window for it to be brought back, like you said, under a different charge, under different language, under different law, like that. And so it all depends. And I mean, murder is a different thing because we all know about double jeopardy, but yeah.
Well, see, I thought that double jeopardy, though, extended to every statute.
No, just murder. Just murder.
So if I go and I rob a bank and I'm found, and then they catch me because I'm not good at robbing banks, but they can't make a case and I get acquitted, if some asshole has a cell phone video that they get a hold of, they can charge me again.
That they didn't have in the first.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
They can charge me again?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that's crap.
I guess round up the cell phones before you rob the bank.
Yeah. Well, I mean, or
you
like
should
a
have taken all
jammer,
those.
or like a cell jammer.
Of course, he did admit he sucked at robbing banks.
Yeah,
so,
I've never tried.
So, I mean,
but
at least we've learned a lesson
I
here
think
today.
that's something I should probably leave to
Take
the
the
professionals.
technology.
Well, I mean, you don't have to worry about the bank surveillance cameras, though, because apparently they're using like 16-bit videos.
Yeah.
But
Another part that I have a problem with is Macaulay Culkin. Mm-hmm. He said, even now he's saying nothing happened. Corey Feldman came out and said everything in the documentary was dead on accurate until it came to the sex part.
But okay,
I don't know how much I trust Corey Feldman, though.
But I mean, I don't. To me, that really doesn't mean anything because that's like saying if I'm going to rape one person, I'm going to rape all the persons. I mean, maybe
just raping.
Maybe
raping
Corey
everybody.
Feldman.
Rape
This
and
is I
pillage.
can't believe I'm going to say this like this is gross, but maybe Corey Feldman just didn't do it for him. I mean,
Well, yeah, there is
even
that, but
pedophiles have
a type.
Yeah, I mean. That is gross. It's really gross. But look, I watch a lot of Criminal Minds, and I was watching one this morning about pedophilia. And
yeah, look, we better go out on the record and say that we all agree that pedophilia
pedophilia
is bad.
bad,
Very, very
horrible,
bad.
Very wrong.
I mean, it's scary we had to say that, but okay.
Well, I would rather say it than, oh my God, there's fucking some
100 times out of 100, but yeah, but I mean, they were talking about. I mean, and obviously, I realize this is fiction, but still, they were talking about preferential predators and opportunistic predators, and it all depends on like, do you offend because of like your type or just the weakest prey you can find,
right.
And that gross. Anyway,
well, but the reason, and I think I need to qualify this, the reason that I said I don't know that I trust Corey Feldman is because he was abused in Hollywood as a child actor. Him and Corey Haim. Yeah, and he was gonna expose everything, but he needed $20 million first. I was like, dude, no.
That's a whole nother.
Yeah, that's a whole thing that really damages someone's credibility, I think.
Well, and I mean, I think if you asked him, because I think somebody did, and his thing was like, well, I've got to protect myself. I've got to, I'll never be able to work again. I'll never be able to. And my thought was, you work a lot, but that was hateful, so hateful. But
well, his music career sure did. Go right in the shitter.
Tits up.
Yeah. I mean, I saw that video and that was uncomfortable.
yeah, it was.
That it was.
I don't even. What was he? He was rapping or he was doing?
Yeah.
It was just atrocious.
But I think that was what his reasoning behind asking for money was to be able to protect himself financially and physically, I believe is what he said. But I mean, again, if I'm a crusader that wants to protect children, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either, and I don't want to, honestly. I mean,
but my thing is like, we got sidetracked with the legal thing, like we do. Squirrel, but so what is their benefit? If they cannot, gain financially at this point, what is their benefit for laying their souls bare?
Well, number one, they did gain financially. HBO, I'm sure, paid them a shit ton of money to do that.
I don't know that, but
Oh, I don't either, but I'm sure it's an easy thing to find out, and I'm sure that they got quite compensated for it.
Again,